Hey there, another chapter, I should say, of my methods. Somebody had asked me about my method for making and installing the lining, and I thought, hey, great idea. I'll talk about that. So, as I've mentioned elsewhere, my preferred lining material is flannel, or more properly, flannelette. It's 100% cotton. You've almost certainly you've handled it before. It's got a slightly felted feel to it. If you look closely, it's got a sort of a twill weave that may not show up under the lens, but I prefer it because it's 100% cotton. It wicks and it's less, so you don't get so hot across the back. It's less insulating than silk or satin or such like that, and also because the feel of the cloth, it tends to grab your shirt and keep your shirt tucked in. If you got a silk lining or something like a satin, as you walk around, your shirt is just gonna keep untucking itself, which is really annoying. So, and I've just come to that from experience and trial and error. Now, also through trial and error and experience, I've come to standardize some dimensions and practices because it eliminates making mistakes. It also eliminates waste as much as possible. So to that end, as I've mentioned elsewhere, the canvas that I use, the structural canvas that I use, is always 5 inches wide. And so to that end, the two narrow panels, and I don't have a kilt with a completed lining in it to show you right now, you'll see it later, but I'll just describe it for now. Of the 3 panels in the kilt, we have the wide one, the 10-inch wide one that covers across the fell portion above the pleats. And we have 2 narrow ones which cover one on top of each of the aprons. And because the canvas is 5 inches wide, I can tear these in advance to between 5 3/4 and 6 inches. So that's what I'm going to do now. I've just been down at Dress Sew, and I'll include a link to them because I'm very impressed with them. They're down in on Hastings Street in Vancouver, and I must say that they have responded magnificently to the whole COVID situation, because they've really grabbed themselves and sort of pulled themselves up by the bootstraps. I was able to go online, order and pay, and then I get a text saying, hey, your stuff's ready. I come down there, boom, I'm through, and I'm out the door with the stuff. So what I've done, and I've already ripped off the first piece, what I've done is I've just measured out across the width of the piece and discovered that I can't quite get 1, 2, 3, 4 6-inch pieces and 2 10-inch pieces. So I've split the difference. These are now 5 7/8, and then in the past I've ripped all of these. I would take a piece like this and do all of the ripping and have a stack of rolls like this waiting for me. But occasionally I'll get a client who's generally tall or otherwise has a very long torso, in which case I need a wider back piece. And I've been stuck in that regard in the past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip half of this. So 1 10-inch piece, 2 5 7/8 pieces, and then I'll put the rest of it away, because sure as shooting, if I do the whole thing, a customer with an atypical body will just magically appear, and I'll have to go buy another piece of cloth. So there we go. As I said, I've made a little nick with the scissors, with the shears, and rather than cut this whole thing, because it's extremely hard to make a straight cut, I rip. And again, some people rip out of their skin when they see me doing this, but it produces a straight edge, and it's really self-sealing. I'm not going to manhandle this a great deal, but at most I'm going to lose a yarn or 2 off of each edge. So I'll do that. I'm going to rip the next one once I find it, and then fold and put the rest of it neatly away. And the stuff isn't particularly expensive. It's of uniform good quality. I'm very happy with the quality of the material from Dress. So there we go. I'm going to roll them up all neatly, and then when I next speak to you, unless I'm talking about something else, we'll be proceeding with the next stage of making and installing the lining in a kilt. Thanks.